Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Crossover Sports Talk and Events. I'm your host and founder, Fazil Rashad. I hope you guys are all doing good. It's been quite some time, since I posted my last video or so. I'd like to deeply apologize about that. We'll be getting back up again with more videos and with more people and sponsorships involved. Hope you guys have been doing good for this past, the last week, two or so, last time I made a video. I just wanted to catch up with you guys. I know life's been getting busy with a lot of things going on. I hope you guys are all well. Thank you, for always supporting love, liking and subscribing and reposting my content. Please keep supporting the channel as I'm going to keep having more coming on in the next few weeks or so, the next week or two or so. The NFL season's upon us. So I was just like, I'm going to be having more and more guests on my show and my podcast, so then we can continue to have more people build the platform for we have on here on Crossover Sports Talk. So I just wanted to say, for all the football fans, the 2025 NFL season's heating up. I just noticed the preseason did kick off from the Hall of Fame game that we had from the preseason game, like about a few weeks ago. I know we're heading into the NFL week season, NFL preseason week 2, and the Chargers and Lions started off with the Hall of Fame game, and Trey Lance looked pretty good. So now that we have week 2 starting this soon, I think this Friday coming up, and then throughout the rest of the week, then the third one will come, and then the regular season should be kicking off in September with the Eagles hosting the Cowboys to start the season. So we do have some matchups, like to look forward to, Cam Ward and the Titans versus the Falcons, the Chiefs and the Seahawks, you got Raiders and 49ers, you got Dolphins and Lions, and then before the week 3 season will be around the little later part of August. And then they'll be wrapping up, training camp as well and heading into the NFL season. So we got lots in store, so it's going to be pretty big, for content here. Like I said, I'll be showing people lots of new things and lots of new people to come aboard. I like to completely explaining about new things and keep on bringing the more camaraderie that we have here at Crossover Sports Talk. So I just wanted to start off with a few things, some keynotes I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on. Always can click in the comment section below. You tell me your thoughts on, players and who you expect, or teams that can possibly show up, and I'll probably have and be making some polls coming out soon to get everybody's thoughts on what to expect in the season and which teams you like or players or et cetera, or who you expect to break out. So I'll have you guys more and more get involved into all that. And I just wanted to start off with some news that's been going on with the NFL just recently, as we had today. We did have, I'll show on my screen, just add some things was here that we had James Cook, as you see on the screen here, the Bills star running back, agreed to a 4-year extension, including with $30 million guaranteed with the $40 million extension. I think this was long awaited. The Bills were really either looking to pay him or looking to move off of him, but he did have some pretty big years, the back-to-back years. He was really key and vital to that offense, along with how Josh Allen has utilized James Cook, and including in their running game. He's been having some burst, and he's used well in the passing game. He's been pretty big in some playoff games that the Chiefs have had, So moving forward, I think this is pretty big for them. I think, this keeps their added weapons. The Bills have always been a Super Bowl contender ever since Josh Allen took the helm since the COVID years. And it was about his third year into the year as he learned and progressed and just continued to get better. So this is only going to be big for them. I really like this move. I do like the Bills in the AFC. I either see them in the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship every time they have Josh Allen, or at least a divisional round or further. They're going to be somewhere always in that mix because of the team and the way they have. Let me know, you guys, what you guys think of this move, down in the comment section below, and let me know about your thoughts about all that. So I think it's a pretty big move. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then also another pretty big move that I would like to notify would be Travis Hunter, as he's making his rare two-way player ready to, shake up the league with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know there were some two-way players that we've seen in the past, but I don't think of this caliber, I would say, of Travis Hunter that could be playing wide receiver and cornerback. He says he wants to do that full time or whatnot, but it's really different from when you come from high school or the um, colleges of the world and to the NFL, where there's grown men and you're playing two positions. That's a pretty beat up and brutal sport. I think it's pretty hard, pretty difficult, to mention all of that stuff that goes on. So all the bruise and all the beating, that you can take, it can be very difficult, to play that position full time for a receiver and a corner. But it's going to be really to see how he's utilized. He wants to do it, and the Jaguars did say they were going to put him in at corner and receiver throughout the games that they play. So that's going to be some pretty interesting stuff. It's pretty interesting to see him, currently right now that you guys would want to mention seeing in the preseason to see how he plays. I know people were looking at Shador Sanders. Forgot to mention him, how he looked against the Carolina Panthers and, their receiver Tet as well, how they looked against each other. They looked pretty good, like especially uh, the way Shador looked. I thought Shador looked pretty good. Shador Sanders looked, I think, more poised, more calm. I know he did have that oblique injury, as I just wanted to mention too. He might be out against Philadelphia in this week 2 preseason game, but he looked pretty cool, calm, and collective. Especially being, I think he was like the fourth stringer on that depth chart. Against going up against into the Panthers game, into that preseason game. I think he was like around fourth on that depth chart, but then they had ended up starting, and he looked pretty damn good. So I think what people will be interesting to see. Is he going to play this week, or is he gonna they're gonna rest him this week, and then play them possibly in the finale in that preseason game. So we shall see. So I'll show you guys. I'll put up on my screen here to show up against his stats how he looked against the Carolina Panthers. As you can see here in his NFL debut, preseason debut, not regular season debut yet, against the Carolina Panthers, Shador Sanders completed 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. He led the Cleveland Browns to a 30-10 victory. I know he didn't play all of the game, but he played quite some snaps in that game. And as you can see, right there in the below, he's a rookie quarterback, was drafted in the 5th round. With several quarterbacks that's kind of ahead of him. There's Flacco, there's Pickett, there's, Dylan Gabriel that they drafted as well. So there's quite a few big quarterbacks, that's on that list, but, Deshaun Watson as well. So we shall see how they use him in that stratosphere, what they're going to do with them. There are all types of things that's going on in Cleveland. So, Shador Sanders, I think, has a pretty bright future. I think, with the team they can build around him, he has that talent. I think he had first round talent. Everyone thought he should have went in the first round. I did. So you guys let me know in the comment section below what you think about, Shador Sanders' debut and what do you expect from him going forward. Okay. Also want to mention some sponsors. As I like to mention, as usual, Trailer Pros, expert trailer repair and custom metal fabrication, reliable and mobile, built to last. You can call them at 916-812-2513 and trailerpros@gmail.com. So yeah, please reach out to them. If you have any trailer repair needs, they will help you at your service. Okay. And also want to mention is for sale, AJ and Michelle Chand for real estate and loans. You can call them at 916-549-2425. The license number right below, as you can see in license 018-02444. Broker license is 0187-8277. And Ajnesh.John and xprealty.com. Sponsored by Crossover Sports Talk. And also would like to mention is Giancarlo and Zena Carmona. They're licensed financial professionals. They're helping individuals and families build generational wealth, eliminate debt, and protect their future through global financial impact. So, you can reach out to them with their right here with their Contact Zena Yassine 063@gmail.com, phone number 510-461-2496, and John Carlo. This is John Carlo with the OUWF@gmail.com. You can reach out to him at 858-405-6743. Very good people. Reach out to them, so they can help out with your specific needs with a financial impact. Okay. And then moving forward, guys, continuing to talk about what's going on in the preseason, there's been lots of injuries that's been going around, the league right now. And, that's the thing about football, man, as I wanted to get into. It's such a brutal sport. Any day, any practice, any preseason game weekend, that's why like people get worried about their future franchise quarterbacks, stars, edge rushers, receivers, like, oh my God, like it's like one move or one tear, one hit can like end their season, end their career. But I mean, that's just the beauty nature of the sport. It's very brutal. And then like we love our teams, we love our players, and we support and we watch for, the love of our teams and the support we give them and the joy they bring, right? With that togetherness that sports brings, especially in the sport of football, which is the biggest ultimate team sport, I think, in all of sports in this world. So, like, especially like this mentioning now, as like I like to show is Dion Bush, the veteran safety for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's out for the season with the Achilles tear. So, we like to mention him, and then also Rashawn Slater for the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert's left side. Now they're going to move Joe Alt, the right tackle, to left tackle into that formidable offensive line that the Chargers have had. Now that it's a big blow losing Slater and the Chiefs losing their safety and Dion Bush. So the AFC West has take a big few hit with some brutal injuries recently. So as I like to show here, here's Dion Bush. I'll mention right here. He's got the torn Achilles tendon in the preseason game that he happened against the Arizona Cardinals. He's out for the season. So, prayers up to him. Hope for a speedy recovery, and as well as for Rashawn Slater, as I'll show him as well as above here. Hopefully, they all come back and get rich, because we don't wish injury upon nobody. We wish everyone stays healthy and has a good season, and that they can, play throughout their NFL careers, because we always want to see teams at their best. We never want to see them depleted or out and about, because it just sucks to see that, I think, right here. And there's Rashawn Slater right there, injured against, he's also, yeah, he, as you see right there in the screen, like he just signed a $114 million extension with the LA Chargers, so, and then losing him, he got carted off on his leg injury. So hopefully he has a quick recovery. Him and Dion Bush, prayers out to them. Hopefully they get better and they come back with they come back bigger and better in the following seasons in the years to come in their prime careers. These are pretty good players, so hopefully, something good comes out of that, and we pray for that. All right, guys, and then moving forward, I'd like to mention about a little bit more things. There's been more free agents that have been signing, that's been happened. There's some pretty big unsigned players that have not been signed yet, including like Terry McLaurin, that has not been signed from the Washington Commanders. We're going to probably expect to see what they do with him. So I think the Commanders are going to eventually pay him, because they need him. I think they have a good, solid team. They're trying to make a run for possibly another NFC Championship, Super Bowl. They have big aspirations, especially from the rookie season that they had from Jaden Daniels this past rookie season. So we should see what happens with there. But I think they're going to end up paying him, and they're not going to let him go. They did add Deebo Samuel and traded from the San Francisco 49ers. They're waiting to utilize him. I think how they run their offense with that short passing game, screens and slants and stuff like that. how they're going to utilize Debo in that wide back form. I think that's what they're going to try to do, and make it what's best for him to utilize his skills like how he was used over here in San Francisco. So we shall see. We shall see. And then what I would like to pick up on is I don't know about other specific priorities within the team with how they'll utilize these specific type of issues that what they can deal with, especially with all these, new injuries, these new rules that has been coming on around the league. It's going to be very different for teams on how they adjust and how they put towards the league and stuff like that. But we should see. It's not going to be very hypercritical like the way players played back in the day. Like they would play through massive injuries. I'm not saying players don't play like that today, but they play through many, many injuries right now. So it's really hard, especially with strength and conditioning coaches and health advocate, doctors and all that they have, especially with medicine the way it is today. You would expect players to not get as hurt as much, right? But I mean, that's just the brutality of the sport. And NFL is nothing's guaranteed, man. Any team can win anytime. Whether we're gonna say, oh, this team can win, this team can. I'm expecting this team to win this time. We don't really know because anything could happen. Just like in life, anything could happen at any given time. We're not guaranteed of anything. Anything can happen to a specific player, like a quarterback, or a star pass rusher, big time receiver, tight end, or safety, a corner. Something like that can happen. So like, is this? We always want to go into a season just hoping our players stay healthy and they're ready to go. They can play at their best, and we don't want to beat a team like you see, like, oh, they were shorthanded, they didn't have this player because of this time, because of that time. Like, oh, if we had him, we would have won. Like, I mean, we say that a lot. I mean, I even was like that too towards when Brock Purdy got his elbow like ripped apart like in Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game about a few years ago. And I was like, well, it would have been a different story. He was just hitting his stride just before starting that game. He looked like he had that Brandon Ayuk throw right open, and then that block was missed. He looked like Purdy was catching some heat, and he was finding his groove, and the elbow went out. Then he got hurt, and people like the whole offseason was like, if we had him, right? Then the season came, and we eventually went back into Philadelphia later in the season, potentially to try to get a 1 seed, which they did. Niners ended up going to the Super Bowl. He came and they won 42-19, and he looked sharp as ever. And Devo did as well in that game. But I mean, that's the thing of the nature of sports, right? Basketball too. We can talk about many different injuries, what has happened with players and playoffs or whatnot. There's an asterisk behind it. I mean, but that's the nature of the sport. You have to play because injuries are bound to happen. It's just the beauty nature of the sport. So we shall see. We shall see. So as I like to mention, a few more other sponsors right here. Ibnaez Wahid, he's a broker associate, Realtor, Berkshire, Hathaway, HomeServices, Elite Real Estate. You can call him at 510-329-3927. And his other numbers right here is 916-667-3465. And you can reach him out to also as IBOhomes@gmail.com, serving the Bay Area and Greater Sacramento, as well as mentioning Mohammed Shiraan, LawPro Legal Services, Evictions, disputes, 3-day and 30-day notices, residential, commercial, mobile home parks. You can reach him out at 916-709-5518. You can reach him out at Mshiraan@yahoo.com, including Blaise Stanfield-Ellison. He's a realtor and Intero Real Estate Services, a Berkshire Hathaway affiliate specializing in residential real estate across the Bay Area, helping clients buy, sell, and invest with confidence, care, and local expertise. You can reach out to Blaise right there at 510-364-7083. And also with Rallysport Engineering, Subaru Repair Specialist, free estimates. You can reach them out to at 2015 Harbor Boulevard in Costa Mesa, California. You can call them at 949-548-0978 at www.subarurepair.com. You can always reach out to them for their specific needs. So yeah, please, you guys can reach out to them. They can help you at your specific needs. And moving forward, guys, as I use another few more minutes, wrapping up the show for today. Really appreciate you guys, tuning in. Always, love to mention your comments and love to get your guys' thoughts on everything. Love to keep you guys more involved. And I'm gonna be implementing new things as I mentioned earlier as I started the show. I like to, keep you guys in the loop of things. I know I've been slacking as of the last week or two. I'd like to apologize about that again, but it'd be cool to have you guys, really always appreciate you guys supporting and giving love and showing love to the sport. It really means a lot to me. I take it to heart with you guys and the way you guys all are. But my thoughts, man, heading into these last few preseason games, I think a lot of rookies, what they're going to be playing, they're going to be fighting for roster spots, and including, I think there are going to be some dress rehearsal games as we're going to expect. I don't know if for players this week, like when they had 4 preseason games, then they would have that third game be that dress rehearsal where some starters would play in the first half. They would test how it would be. It would not be like schematically. They would run vanilla offenses because head coaches and offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, they don't want to show what they have in their bag, what they're saving for the regular season, like showing their schematics and stuff. So teams can game plan against it real quickly or into week 1 when their future opponent's there. So what I think they do is just run vanilla stuff, but it's fun to see them play. You don't wish any injuries to, like freak accidents or injuries and stuff like that. You just have to, hope they get out healthy and they're successful and they look good. And you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for the regular season. Your favorite quarterback, your favorite receiver, running back, or, defensive player gets sacks or interceptions or touchdowns or rushing or receiving touchdowns. And you're like, oh my God, man, we were talking about that this whole off season, and now it's regular season time, and I can't wait, for them to play in week 1. I'm ready for that, the season to kick off to see all that going on. And speaking of that, fantasy football is going to be beginning too, and I'm in some leagues and pretty excited about that as well. So I can't wait to go. Let me know if you guys want to, run any stuff with that as well. I'm willing to do that. I love fantasy football too, so we can get that cracking too. Appreciate all you guys. And then what I also wanted to say was as we head into the regular season, I'm really excited. Thoughts, people were trying to get my thoughts. People did ask me about what do you think about the Niners? Especially since they're my team, they're everyone's always talking to me about them. They're always in the media, they're everywhere, they're one of the storied franchises. Yeah, I get it. We haven't had a Super Bowl in the past 30 years or so, and we're knocking at the door so many times, and I feel like they should have had 3 or 4 in the past decade or so. What I think, man, was they have a very good team. They have a solid team. They did have a lot of turnover. They lost some vets, some key, let's say Hufanga and Greenlaw, Treverius Ward potentially and stuff like that. Deebo Samuel and I would say I forgot who else. Some other players left, but majority of them were on the defensive side. But the defense, man, they look pretty good, and especially against the Broncos starters. They had a third or second string. The Niners defense was playing Chase Lucas, Marquise Siegel at safety. I know Michael Williams has been looking good in camp. C.J. West, Alfred Collins, D. Winters, man, and Bryce Huff. They're getting after everything. And Robert Saleh scheming everything up, getting these defensive guys ready. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we're missing. Welcome back, Robert Saleh. This defense, the young defense, it's they never skip the beat. Just to be another top 10 defense. I think it's not just non-bias aside. I think they're still going to be solid. And then that's why they were saying it was Brock Purdy got paid now. So they want to see what he can do now. No more Deebo, Jawan Jennings contract, he's injured. Jordan Watkins, the rookie, he's a little banged up right now with the high ankle sprain, expecting him to possibly be back week 1 against the Seahawks. He's looking good. Ricky Pearsall's been looking solid in camp, and he's really balling out. And then there's who else? Is it Jamarcus Robinson? He's appealing that 3-game DUI suspension, so he's not going to be there the first 3 games possibly. So who we're going to look at is probably Ricky Pearsall, week one starters, Russell Gage, Robbie Chosen. Hopefully, get Jawan Jennings, and then there's what's it, Jordan Watkins back. They're possibly going to need some of them back, or Jacob Cowing. There's receivers like that, but if they have that, they'll still be solid. Those are some pretty good weapons. Shanahan can scheme anybody open too. So having Kittle too, and Kittle and what I heard in camp was like Kittle and Purdy are just connecting like how it was with him and anybody at quarterback, but like they look really good together. So this is going to be fun to see. McCaffrey's back with his bounce, fully healthy. I'm excited. So like those are my thoughts on the Niners, but I just want to wait to see how they play first. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Feel free to comment, text, like and subscribe, and always comment. Let me know what you think, man. Be honest with them. I'm hoping it's the playoffs. The schedule's pretty easy. Super Bowl's at Levi's. I'm hoping they go to that. I'm not guaranteeing, anything could happen, but we shall see. All right, guys, I'll just mention a few more sponsors before I call it a night. And then like to mention right here is Rallysport Auto Spa, premium Subaru detailing, interior, exterior, clay bar. Book now at 949-691-6239. You can service at rallyautosport.com. And then SubiGarage and Auto Sales is quality used Subarus. Clean titles, great deals. Call them at 949-548-0987. You can reach them out to an rseraul@gmail.com. Very good people. Please reach out to them. And then you can also mention is Y2K Recycling. Got old electronics. Don't trash it. Recycle it. We're on a mission to keep e-waste out of landfills. 510. You can reach them out at 925-9919. Info at y2krecycling.com, www.y2krecycling.com. And then also I like to mention is Bomar Mail. Need to ship fast and hassle-free. Visit Bomar Mail in Hayward today, your local go-to for all mailing courier needs. Email James at bomarmail.com. You can contact him at 510-760-2515. Right there, hashtag Bomar Mail, Hayward Business, shipping made easy. Support them locally. They'll help you at your earliest needs. I'd like to mention a new sponsor. Shout out to DJ Eric, DJ Regal Weddings, Red Warning, Entertainment Group, DJ and LED Wall, Special FX, Event Production, Lasers, LED, Bar, Dance Floor. You can call them at 916-838-6679, www.djregalweddingset.com. You can reach out to him if you need any wedding planning for any DJ. You can reach out to him. He's amazing. All right, guys, as I like to wrap up everything, hope you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, share anywhere to show your family, friends, anybody about it. I really thank you guys for tuning in and always supporting the love and support. I'll keep having you guys on, having more guests and sponsorships completing in the future. So please stay tuned in and keep looking. Can't wait to hear more from me next. I'll keep uploading and, thanks for the support. You guys all have a great rest of your day and great rest of your week. I'll be making more videos and having more on. Peace. Thank you.